one instance where the information was a bit complicated and involved, and even if someone coached him, he never would have remembered what to say and when and so forth. I mean, knowing him, you would know that it would have been impossible for him to do this. And the particular event that I'm thinking of, he was about a little over 4 years old, I believe, and he basically went up to a number of people. We were in the hospital. My wife was having a fibroidectomy, and he went up to a number of people in the room at the time after she was recovering, asking everybody if he saw, if they knew of this certain person. I'm not going to name the name, but he asked them, do you know so-and-so? And everyone said, no, we don't know who that is. And sure enough, in walks a friend of my wife and I, and he's about, I guess, in his 40s. And Raman approached him and he said, do you know so-and-so? And the guy was stunned, because that was his father. And his father had passed, I guess it was, I think it was in the late 90s. So this shows that, as a matter of fact, a soul can hover in this dimension a lot longer than the usual, months and then leave. I think they have the option. There's a lot of theories about this, but I think they have the option of returning if they want to, and overlooking family members and this sort of a thing. So in any event, he then said, well, he wants you to know he's very proud of the work you're doing, and and so forth. And there was another young boy at the time simultaneously who was also in the process of leaving the mortal coil, and he was still alive and people were having hope for him, and Raman said no, he's wanting to leave. And so the young boy was with the older man at the time, and they were both speaking to Raman. And this sounds like so far-fetched, fantastic, fabricated, or whatever you want to think of it, but it was not at all. I mean, you just know in your bones that this was a very real transfer of information, a very real event that happened. And so I've studied this phenomenon all my life. They're referred to widely as NDEs, and there have been a number of medical doctors, mainly anesthesiologists, who witnessed these kinds of things happening, and there are a number of books out. As a matter of fact, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross was one of the first, and she reported on these events. And also there were a number of others. Joel Whitton from Quebec, Canada, I believe is in Quebec, also an MD, reporting on these NDEs. And there was also Raymond A. Moody, who extensively reported on them, has a number of books out. And one in particular, Brian Weiss, who was a psychiatrist from Harvard, and he reported extensively on it. I had the good fortune of speaking with him one time when he came to Florida, and I spoke to him on the radio briefly, and then I went down where he was lecturing and spoke to him in person as well. Well, he has a number of books out, and there's one called Many Lives, Many Masters, or something like that. And he reported thousands of cases where people told him under hypnotic suggestion, under the hypnotic, they were mesmerized, put it that way. And for example, there was this one instance where this woman was Chinese speaking and had to have an interpreter, and she had heard of him and thought that he could help her if he regressed her to a past life, to find out whatever it was that she needed to find out. Well, she started speaking to him under the hypnotic spell, so to speak, in Cockney accented English, and she knew nothing about English on any level, and so and the accent was flawless. And so everyone in the room, there were 3 people, I guess, interpreter, himself, and another assistant of his, I guess, Dr. Weiss, and they all saw this happening, and they were just spellbound by it. Well, anyway, also there were a number of others who spoke of witnessing certain things at the time. There was another instance which is quite interesting. They had a person in one operating room who astrally projected themselves just prior to going through the typical NDE, which has about 9 different characteristics which are common to everyone. Going through the tunnel and seeing the white light is the most popular aspect of it. Well, anyway, to make a long story short, the person astrally projected, hovered above the table, watched themselves being operated on by the personnel, and then they drifted out and deliberately wanted to, I guess, find something that could not be seen by anybody in the hospital, etc. And what they did was they spotted a sneaker somehow perched on a ledge outside of this window that could not have been seen by anyone. The only way they later found it was going in another building and setting up a telescope and so forth, and discovering there's the sneaker. And so, you know, this kind of thing is very real, and there are so many people who have reported themselves being astrally projected. That's quite a common experience. I've had that experience myself a few times, and it's quite unsettling if you're not ready for it, if you don't have the knowledge about it. And even if you do, it's still quite an amazing experience. And well, I guess this kind of sews up this aspect of it, the paranormal. I wanted to speak more about it, but I want to get to the main subject matter here, which is the metaphysical. And I will start on that in the next video, and so stay tuned. That's what you really want to hear if you're inclined and ready for it. It can serve to be the very push you're looking for, and it's a thing where, you know, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. So it's the same thing. There is no way that I can do the experience for you. You have to yourself have the experience. I could help to guide you to the threshold, so to speak, but you're the one that has to open the door and walk through. So that's what it's all about, and take it from there. Okay, we'll close this out now.